Scott, if you want to give a quick overview of just who you are, what you do here, and we'll go from there.
My name is Scott Ulmer. Good morning, everyone. Part of the operations team at On Tour Logistics. Hope everyone gets a lot out of today. Answer some questions. We will do everything we can to answer them to the best of our knowledge and give you all the insights of On Tour Logistics, and just try to answer any misconceptions or true or false, or you name it. There's a lot of questions people ask. So hopefully we can cover a lot of ground today and answer anything you got. And this is a very exciting part of Averitt. Hope you have a lot of questions that we can answer for you, and hopefully we can get some people on board and come out and check this part of Averitt. This is the fun part of Averitt that we really enjoy, and hope everyone gets a lot out of it.
Absolutely.
My background is I've been in the touring business for over 30 years now. I was on the road full time, grew up in the trucking business, been with Averitt and On Tour Logistics for 12 years now. I'm part of the operations team out of Nashville. So ask away.
I love it. Also, just to start it out, we'll go ahead and give you the floor. What is On Tour Logistics?
On Tour Logistics is the touring side of Averitt. We do what we call live events. It's not necessarily all concerts. We do everything from festivals to political events, church events, conventions. We do cheerleading competitions. We do stuff for kid shows. We do circuses. We do Supercross. We've done Monster Jam. We've done a little bit of everything. If there's a crowd and if it's got a stage and if it's got sound and lights, that's what we haul. Anything, like I said, as far as the true or false, a few little questions we have. True or false, you were out for 9 or 10 months straight. A lot of tours do stay out for 9 or 10 months, but you're rarely out that long without a break. There's opportunities for home time, whether it be near your domicile, whether it be near, the Nashville-based area where we can get you home. So there are a lot of breaks in most tours. Yes, the tour may last for 9 months, but there is some opportunities for home time. Most of OTL driving is done at night. Yes, most of these events are at night, and at the end of the event or the show or the concert, you load everything up and you drive to the next town. So majority of our driving is done at night. OTL drivers generally get loaded up, like I said, at the end of the night, go to the next venue, and the time frames in between, it could be the next day, could be a couple of days later. So that's usually the process that we do in the time frame. And the next OTL trucks are not speed regulated. Yes, they are. All Averitt trucks are regulated at 65 miles per hour. And on Tour Logistics, we are set at 68. Because of the time constraints that we have to deal with, we do allow the additional 3 miles per hour, and it does help out some. You have to be domiciled at certain service centers to transfer to OTL. If you are in the truckload system, or you're in an area that truckload drivers are domiciled, you can transfer into OTL. We are part of truckload. We use truckload assets. All of our equipment is based in Nashville. And so you can transfer into OTL after attending OTL class and then receive an invitation. So that's kind of the basics of On Tour Logistics. So hopefully that can lead into some good questions, and we will answer everything the best we can.
Awesome. Thank you, Scott, for all that synopsis and those quick question and answers that we had in the beginning, the true and false. Based off of that, guys, if you guys have any questions based off of that information you just heard or anything Scott said, make sure you're throwing questions in now too. Again, I know I've said it already, but thank you so much for spending your time this Saturday morning out with us. It does mean a lot that you care enough and you're interested enough in OTL that you spent your 8, 9 a.m., depending on where you are, just here learning about it. So thank you so much again. And if anything came up, like I said, I know we've already got some filtered through and in the questions and answers segment, but we're going to spend as much time as we can answering every single question. So if you have any from here that you thought of while he was talking, or that gets sprung from other questions that we have, make sure to answer those. I'm going to go ahead and pull on our first question, Scott, which is going to be right here from Johnny Rogers. What determines your pay when you're on tour and when you're running truckload?
When you're on tour logistics, while you're actually on a tour, you are paid a salary. It is based off of a daily rate, but it is a salary. It is not mileage based, because a lot of our tours, you may, run a few hundred miles a day, then you might wind up sitting somewhere for 5 or 6 days at a time, depending on the tour or the event. So it is not mileage based. It is a salary based. So you're not chasing miles at that point. And then as far as when you're not on tour and you're running truckload freight, it is based on your current rate of pay.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Next one we got is from Jill James. Sorry. It says, I had some small questions that were mostly answered yesterday regarding showers, parking, vacations, etc.
Okay, as far as regarding showers, if you're within the Averitt network, of course, you always got access to an Averitt service center if they have showers available there. And at the different venues that we play, whether it be an arena, a stadium, a festival, or anything like that, if showers are available, absolutely, you're part of the crew. You have access to that. I will say that that's, most 95% of the time, that is, they have to take care of the crew and you are, provided showers. As far as parking, yes, parking is provided. That's just part of it. They have to have the trucks, the buses, the local crew people. So they do have to have parking for them. As far as vacations and PTO, we work with you to get your pre-scheduled PTO if you've already got it. Or, regarding in the future, a lot of our drivers take their PTO during the wintertime. That's when the touring season typically slows down a little bit. But yes, PTO is just the norm within Averitt. So just get with us and we will work with you and make sure you take your time off.
I love that. And then if I may, again, not an expert in this field at all, but from what I've heard from On Tour Logistics, it really does feel like once you get on a tour that you're kind of just in that group with who you're on tour with.
Sure.
They treat you as you're part of it. Everything they have, you have, vice versa. And they really do care about you being there.
They do. You're part of the family and they have to take care of you. And that is your family that you're going to be traveling with for a while.
I love that. That's one of the things that I'm most drawn to for On Tour
Yes.
Logistics. All right, next one we've got, when not on tour, do you stay close to your home domicile?
When you're not on tour, you will be running truckload. So within the truckload system, you will be hauling freight to wherever that goes. So you may be close to your domicile, you may not. It's just wherever the truckload freight system is going to send you.
Now, next one we've got is going to be, when is the next orientation?
We are working on that. I believe we've got one scheduled here in a couple of weeks. It will be at the OTL facility in Nashville, and we will get those dates lined up. We're trying to get all that puzzle still put together with and seeing how many we got signed up. And I'm thinking in the next couple of weeks, we should have another one.
Next one's going to be, how many miles will I get on tour?
That varies greatly. Some tours run a lot of miles. Some tours, if you're on a big stadium tour, like the Morgan Wallen tour that we have, you will drive very few miles because you have a week to get to the next venue, which is usually on a Friday and a Saturday night, is, when the stadium shows are. So you might just drive a few hundred miles a week on that one. There are some that do and show consecutive nights. You might drive a few hundred miles at night, but you're not getting paid mileage while you're on tour. You're getting paid a salary. So the mileage is kind of, it doesn't really matter at that point. So if you're only getting paid your mileage rate of pay when you're running truckload freight.
Awesome. Next question. I think I've seen this one quite a bit too, honestly. Do I have to be involved in loading and unloading the trailer?
You're there to supervise and assist. The main job of an OTL driver is there will be crew people, stagehands, union personnel. They are primarily responsible for the physical loading and unloading of the trailer. You are there to supervise and assist, and you are there to secure the load. We used ratchet straps and load bars because everything we haul is on wheels. You are there to make sure that it is secured properly and loaded correctly. But as far as the heavy lifting and the physical actually loading and unloading, that is a responsibility of the crew members and the stagehands.
What about food? Am I provided meals on tour?
Most of the time, yes. Most tours, almost every single one of them, do provide, 3 meals a day because, like I said, once again, there's a large group, there's crew people, there's other drivers, there's bus drivers, there's local crew. So everybody has to eat. So most of the time, like I said, there's 3 meals a day provided. Some of it's great. Most of the time, it's pretty good food. There's sometimes it may be not exactly what you want, but that is up to the particular tour itself on what food they provide, what type of food they provide. But yes, food is provided.
I love that. I would say, unfortunately for me, free is me. So if anyone's providing food, I'm eating it.
And it is free. You are not responsible for it. So
I like it. What happens if you have a family emergency on tour?
Just get with the leadership, with OTL, your fleet managers, and everything. We will do everything we can to get you home or wherever you need to go as fast as possible. If you're in the far reaches in the Northwest, it may take us a minute, but when a family emergency occurs, and we do have this happen occasionally, we do everything we can to get you home and to get you to your family.
I love that. Is there a microwave in the truck?
If you want one, you buy whatever microwave you want. But yes, Averitt does allow microwaves in the truck as long as it's the correct, wattage and size and that'll fit in the little cabinet. There are hookups in all Averitt sleeper trucks for a microwave and a TV. So that is, whatever you want to put in there, as long as it's the correct size, wattage, and everything. But Averitt does not provide it. But yes, you're absolutely allowed to put a microwave in there.
That's awesome. I'm more interested in the trade show part of OTL. Is there a difference between tours and trade shows?
Yes, it's still a live event. The tour is a typical concert, music type, but we do quite a few trade shows at convention centers and things like that. That is a part of what we do. And it's everything we've done, everything from carpet conventions to just different, there's no rhyme or reason, almost any type of gathering as far as different corporations and events, car shows, things like that usually happen at a convention center. So yes, we do that quite often. It's still hauling the same stuff. It's still sound, light, video, things like that. And it's still going into a convention center, arena, or anything like that. It's basically the same. It's just not music. So
I know it varies from tour to tour, but what does home time look like?
it just varies greatly. Like I said, it depends on where you're domiciled. If you're domiciled, let's just say in the Nashville area, and you're on a country tour that's based out of Nashville, your home time may be a little bit more than somebody that's based out of, let's say, West Texas or Oklahoma or something like that. But, most tours will go close to your domicile, but we do everything we can to try to get you home as much as we can. Where you're domiciled kind of dictates that a little bit, but we do try to get you home as much as we can. It depends on the tour. It depends on, the time of year. Touring typically slows down during the wintertime, and it's very, very busy in the summertime, late spring, summer through early fall. So that varies a little bit.
Johnny says, I'm a city driver and interested and have my leader okay to switch over. Is that possible?
It is possible. We have taken a few city drivers. We do encourage to have over the road experience. So city driving and truckload, different dedicated accounts and stuff like that are different. We do encourage that, but we have hired city drivers before. But we would just need to get with your leadership, and our leadership will discuss it. And a lot of it depends on, do you need to be replaced by another associate? But there's a few pieces of the puzzle that we could probably put together, but that's just a conversation that we'll definitely have.
And what do you do during show times?
Well, usually typically after you unload in the morning's time for the show, eat, make sure all your truck and trailer's good. But most of the time during the show, you're asleep. So most people ask, do I ever get to see the show? I'm going to say sometimes. That's up to the tour. But if you're traveling that night and your responsibility is driving and you've got, particular amount of miles to do that night, you need to be resting during the show.
Next one's going to be, what are the qualifications to become an OTL driver?
Like I said, we want you to be in your particular business unit with Averitt for at least 30 days. Like I said, we do encourage over the road experience. If you haven't, there are a few exceptions on that we will consider. But an Averitt associate, 30 days in your business unit, we do try to encourage some over the road experience. But other than that, if you're in the truckload system, we can just bring you right into OTL, with a few conditions, of course, but come to orientation and then we will go from there. But other than that, it's pretty simple.
I like it. And your reimbursement for parking if we are having to park for a few days between arena dates.
Absolutely. We will do everything you can to have you in a good and safe location. If you're in the Averitt network, that's easy. Just go to an Averitt service center. We do that almost on a daily basis with different tours. If you're out of the Averitt network, most of the time it's at a major truck stop, but we will do everything we can to take care of you, have all the amenities that you need, and to keep you in a good, safe place. But yes, if it's a paid parking situation, yes, we will take care of that.
What is my uniform allotment for OTL?
It's the same as the Averitt allotment. It's 150 for Averitt uniforms, and it's 150 for the OTL uniforms, and it rolls over every January 1, so you get 150 for each.
Do we have to change trucks between our tour duties and truckload?
Nope, same truck. Just if you're hauling truckload freight, it'll be a gray trailer. If you're on tour doing on-tour logistics stuff, it'll be one of our white on-tour logistics trailers, because they're configured a little bit different, equipped different and spec different. But no, you do not change trucks. You keep your truck the whole time.
So much easier.
It is.
What is the base salary for OTL?
When you first come into OTL, you are what they call on a tier 2 salary, and that starts at $1,800. And then you have a chance to move up to a couple of different tiers after that. After the next step would be tier 1. And that is after some time, you've got some experience and you've done good in OTL. And that time can vary a little bit. But the next step, you go to $2,200 a week. And then if you want to be a lead driver, that's the next step. Now that does take a little time and experience to lead a tour. There's leadership capabilities in there. There's some experience of going to all the different venues in the United States. And then that goes to what we call Tier 1 Elite, and that is $2,500 a week.
Is OTL team driving?
Possibly, yes. Now, we do not dictate that. The customer dictates that, because let's just say that there's a distance of 700 miles between shows. Because of our hours of service regulations, we will have to put a team driver in the truck with you, just to get over that particular hump of, we typically try to figure in our 11-hour driving shift, we try to figure around 600 miles. So anything over that, and we have to get to the next venue in a particular time frame, we will have to put a team driver in, but we try to limit it as short as possible. Normally, we will fly a driver out, put them in the truck for a particular driving shift, or get to the next venue, fly them back to their truck or their domicile. So we try to minimize it as much as possible. But like I said, usually the customer dictates the routing. So if it's necessary, we do it, but we try to minimize it as much as possible.
Like it.
Okay.
It's going to be our next one right here is, does Averitt provide you with a new mattress when you receive a truck?
No, because, the standard mattress that comes in Averitt trucks, they're not that bad. But if you do want to put your own mattress in there, you are allowed to do that, or a mattress topper or anything like that. So just follow the Averitt rules and procedures on that. But no, Averitt does not provide it, but you can put whatever mattress you want in there.
If after giving it some time and I decide it's not for me, would I be able to go back to truckloads with truck assignments change?
Yes, we do encourage everybody before you come into OTL to fully commit to it, because of the nature of the business that we do. We are gone for extended lengths of time, and we always try to encourage a driver, if you do commit to like a particular tour, if you do decide to join OTL, we need you to finish the tour, because swapping drivers mid-tour can be a little difficult depending on where it's at. But would you be able to go back to truckload? Absolutely. And would truck assignments change? That would depend. I mean, if you're driving a truckload tractor now and you decide to go back to truckload, you will keep the same truck. We use truckload assets, so we don't have OTL trucks and truckload trucks. So you will keep the same tractor. But if you get down the road and decide it's not for you, then yes, you're more than welcome to go back to truckload and go from there. But we try to do everything we can to keep you. So.
Absolutely. I did get some background information. As far as the mattress question, if it gets to a point where you feel like you absolutely need a new mattress, Averitt will provide you a new one. Okay. It's just one of those case-by-case basis. But if you need a new one, they will provide you one. So
yes, I guess if it's an old and wore out one, then absolutely they will get you a new one. But if you want to just change to your own particular style or brand, then absolutely you can do that too.
Actually, yes. I just wanted to give that little bit of
Oh,
information.
great. Thank you very much.
Do I have to have a passport?
Yes, we encourage that because almost every single one of our tours will do at least one show in Canada. So we do encourage you to get a passport. If you don't have one, get one. Go and apply for it. Do that. We'll pay for it. Just we'll reimburse you for the passport. If you don't have one, that will not stop you from coming into OTL, but we do encourage you to go ahead and get one. And like I said, we'll pay for it. And if you get to go on a vacation or something like that where a passport is required, then we paid for your passport. But we do Canadian shows all the time. Almost every single one of our tours will do at least one show. We do have a lot of tours that do not go to Canada, but we do encourage you to get one and we will reimburse you for it.
Is it our responsibility to get to orientation?
Averitt will take care of all of your travel arrangements. If there's flights or rental cars or getting you a load to reposition you to Nashville, we will take care of all of that.
Here's a fun one. If the tour star gives bonuses to the crew, how is that given out? I know from previous experience, some stars do give out bonuses at the end of tour.
Yes, that is up to each individual tour. I mean, there's been different bonuses given out. They may just do it themselves, or they may contact us and say, hey, we want to give the drivers a bonus, and then we will do it through our normal payroll procedures. But each individual tour does it differently.
If I'm on a dedicated local position, do I have to transfer to truckload first and stay for 30 days before coming to OTL?
Yes, there are a few exceptions to that. A lot of it depends on where you're at and what dedicated account it is. But if you are on a dedicated local position, you will transfer to truckload because we are part of truckload. So you will come into truckload, and a lot of it depends on your over the road experience as well. If you've got over the road experience, that may change that time frame a little, but we do want you to get used to the truckload system. And a lot of it may depend on how fast we need you to start the next tour. If it's 30 to 40 days before the next tour starts that we need you on, we may get you on into truckload as soon as we could and let you haul some truckload freight, get used to the truckload system, and then you'll go out on tour.
I have a passport card. Is that good enough?
It is. I have to check myself on this. We encourage to get the book because the book allows you to fly, land, and sea. The book covers everything. The card is only good for, I think, on like cruise ships, and sometimes I think flying, you can use the card. But for ground, crossing the border, I believe the book is what they prefer.
I'd say even for a callback to the earlier question, like a family emergency, it's going to be much easier if you have a book passport compared to just a card if something does come up. So highly recommend to get the book.
Yes, especially if you're in Canada, if you got the book covers everything, and there's not much difference in cost. And like I said, we are going to reimburse you for it anyway. So I always encourage everybody to get the book.
Will I be sent out by myself on tour?
Oh no, we take care of all the details, all the dispatching. We do a lot of communication by email as well as the tablets, text messaging, phone calls. We will give you all the information. We do everything we can to make this as easy as we can for you. So all you have to worry about is your driving responsibilities. But we will take care of all the dispatching, the scheduling, the routing. We do all that ourselves.
Awesome. When's the touring season?
The heat of the season is late spring through the summer to early fall. That is when the busy stuff is. That's when the weather's good. That's when you'll have the stadium tours, the amphitheaters, which are, outside, or the festivals, which are outside. That is the main part of the season. But in a nutshell, it's still 12 months out of the year. We do different conventions and different things like that through the winter as well. But the touring season, like I said, the bulk of it is late spring through the summer and early fall.
How long is orientation and what does it entail?
Orientation, we do it over a 2-day span of time. The first day we do introductions, all the classroom, PowerPoint presentation. We do a one-on-one interview. That usually takes the bulk of the first day. And the second day is all hands-on. We put you inside the trailer and show you the correct procedures on the loading and unloading, because everything we have is on wheels. Nothing is on pallets. Nothing is on forklifts. It's all hand loaded. So we show you the correct procedure on, the process of loading and securing the load. That is the bulk of what you're responsible for, is securing it with the bars and the straps. And then we also do what we call the radio backing. It's of someone with a handheld radio to guide you into these very difficult parking situations that you're going to be in. So that involves the second day, and it's just a lot of hands-on. So it's over a 2-day span of time, and we also try to feed you as much as possible too. So
I like it. How many safety points do I need to have to transfer to OTL?
of course, the max you can get is 14, but we do have to have a minimum of 10. If it's, like I said, if it's below that, then we will try to work with safety to get you, as many, points as we can. There's videos you can watch, there's classes you can take, you can meet with safety. But yes, so it is 10 points. So thank you for clarifying that.
Awesome. We have one more question that I seen that I think would be really good, and then that's going to be our final one. So if I do orientation, I see it is not for me. Will I be required to stay in OTL? Will I also be paid?
As far as being paid, you are paid for the 2 days that you are in orientation. If you're a truckload driver, I think you're paid the 450 miles per day to be there. If you're on dedicated or city, it's whatever your rate of pay is. But yes, you are paid to come to orientation. And if you decide it's not for you after the orientation, then no, you are not required to stay, because it's more of informative than anything else. And we encourage everybody, if you're interested in OTL, come to the orientation, ask all the questions. We are going to be totally transparent. We're going to just show you everything that, the processes that we do in OTL, answer all the questions you have. And it is a lifestyle change. We always tell everybody that. So if you come to orientation and you decide this is not for you, that's okay. You will just go back into the whatever business unit you're at, truckload, dedicated, city, or whatever, and that's okay. We would rather you do that and then get into OTL and then decide it's not for you. So absolutely.
Scott, that was amazing. Thank you so much for all the information, answering the questions. Is there anything else you would like to say to anyone interested in OTL or just on the subject in general?
Well, thank you for all the questions. Thank you for joining us this Saturday morning. And always, like I said, if you find out something that you have another question about later on, you can email anyone in the OTL group and just call us, email us, figure out, any kind of questions that you didn't get today, and we will be glad to answer them. And we're here to help. And we hope this did answer a few questions that a lot of people do have about OTL, but we want to encourage everybody to just come check us out and see if you like it.
I love it, Scott. Thank you so much. I can't express how thankful I am that you came on to give all this information. So again, thank you so much. And I know you helped a lot of questions get answered.
I hope so.